Dear students, I welcome you all to watch this video. In the last two topics, we have discussed about the meaning of accounting, definition of accounting, and objectives, and the process of accounting, the diagram showing the accounting process, and in the second topic, the basic accounting concepts, isn't it? And in chapter 3, we are supposed to learn the first step in the process of accounting, that is identifying the transaction and recording the transaction. So chapter 3 is on recording of transactions. See, when we speak of recording of transactions, why it is important? You know, the very definition of accounting says accounting is an art of recording. Or if you look at the other definition, it's the process of identifying, measuring, and communicating. For communicating, first we must have proper record. The aim of accounting is to communicate the information to the interested users. When we are supposed to communicate the exact or accurate information, first we must have a record of it, because man's memory power is limited, and that limited memory power has paved the way for system of recording, isn't it? So here we are supposed to learn how to record the transactions in the books of account. And what type of transaction should be recorded? Only business transactions should be recorded here. Then let's see first once again the meaning of transaction, because in the first topic you have learnt it, transaction. What is transaction then, or business transaction? When I speak about transaction here, what I mean business transaction, isn't it? What is transaction? You know, transaction is the dealing between the two entities. Transaction is the dealing between the two entities. But what type of dealing? Dealing between the two entities having some value. To be more precise, it is an event involving some value between two or more entities or two or more persons sometimes. Okay, and examples I may quote: purchase of goods, sale of goods, payment of rent. These are all transactions. In fact, they are very common in business. So business transaction is a transaction which involves the change in financial position of the business. All transactions will not be recorded in the books. Only business transaction will be recorded in the books. And those transactions may be considered as business transaction which have some measurable value, or which has taken place in money terms, or which can be expressed in money terms, will be considered as business transaction. To take one example, Akash purchased a cell phone. Akash purchased a cell phone worth rupees 10,000 for cash. It's an example for a transaction or a business transaction. Akash purchased a cell phone worth rupees 10,000. Akash ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ 10,000 rupees ಸೆಲ್ ಫೋನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಇದೇನು? ಇಟ್ಸ್ an example for business transaction. And every business transaction involves reciprocal exchange of two things. Every business transaction involves reciprocal exchange of two things. When we speak of a transaction, there must be two things. Here Akash purchased a cell phone worth rupees 10,000 for cash. Here two things we have to notice. Reciprocal exchange take place. Reciprocal exchange of two things takes place. On the one side, he purchases cell phone for cash, means he pays cash, payment of cash. That is one aspect, payment of cash. And on the other, he takes delivery of the cell phone, or he receives the cell phone. He receives the cell phone. Two aspects. One is payment of cash and other one is the delivery of a cell phone. And here the transaction involves give and take aspect. Give and take aspect. Payment of cash is give aspect, isn't it? Payment of cash is give aspect, and receipt or taking delivery of cell phone is a take aspect. So every transaction involves give and take aspect. You may note that every transaction involves give and take aspect. In this particular example, Akash pays cash to the seller, that is give aspect, and he takes delivery of the cell phone, or he receives the cell phone, that is take aspect. Thus, business transactions are exchanges. When we speak of business transaction, what they are? They are exchanges of economic consideration. They are exchanges of economic consideration between parties, two or more parties sometimes, and have twofold effects. And have twofold effects that are recorded in at least two accounts. They are recorded in at least two accounts. And accounts, you know, account is a summarized record of business transaction. It's a summarized record of business transaction relating to a person, a thing or an asset, expense or an income that have taken place during a given period of time. It's a summarized record of business transaction relating to a person, a thing or an asset, expense or an income that have taken place during a given period of time. ಅದನ್ನು ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ಬರೆದಿಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಂಥದ ಒಂದು ಬರೆದಿಡುವಂಥ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಯೂನಿಟಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಬಿಸಿನೆಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ are exchanges. Business transactions are exchanges of economic consideration between parties and have twofold effects that are recorded in at least two accounts. That much is sufficient here. Now let's move on to see one more term here, that is source document. And while discussing objective evidence concept, we have seen no transaction should be recorded in the books of account without proper documents or without proper evidence. See, the evidence which supports the transaction is called source document. Without a supporting document, no transaction should be recorded in the books. And the document which supports the transaction is called source document or voucher. A document which provides evidence of the transactions is called source document or voucher. You might have heard that term. Evidence which supports the transaction, or a document which provides evidence of the transaction is called source document or voucher. Vouchers are generally written documents and which provide evidence of financial transactions. They are written documents which provide evidence of financial transactions. See, example you may be knowing, perhaps you know it. For when you purchase goods, what you receive? You will receive goods, and along with goods you will receive a receipt, cash memo you may receive. That is a source document for recording that particular transaction. Or you may receive invoice. Or when we deposit cash into the bank, what we do? We will fill up a form called pay-in slip, and the counterfile of that pay-in slip may act as a source document for recording transactions. You may see that examples for source document or vouchers is cash memo, invoice, sales bill, pay-in slip, check sometimes. Counterfile of the check will act as evidence for making the payment, isn't it? Salary slip, etc. And accounting vouchers may be classified as cash vouchers, debit vouchers, credit vouchers, journal vouchers, etc. We are supposed to discuss in brief all these things. Accounting vouchers may be classified as cash vouchers, debit vouchers, credit vouchers, journal vouchers, etc. And a transaction with one debit and one credit is a simple transaction. Transaction with one debit and one credit is a simple transaction, and accounting voucher prepared for such transaction is called transaction voucher. The first one is transaction voucher. A voucher which contains one debit account, one credit account is called transaction voucher. A voucher which supports a transaction which involves only one account or only one debit and only one credit is called transaction voucher. But sometimes a voucher may require to record multiple debits or credits and one credit or debit, then it is called compound voucher. First one is simple voucher or transaction voucher. Second one is a voucher which records a transaction that entails multiple debits or credits. Multiple debits, say more than two. Multiple means more than two. Multiple debits or credits and one credit or debit, then such voucher is called compound voucher. And this compound voucher may be again classified into two types: debit voucher and credit voucher. Compound voucher may be classified into two types: debit voucher and credit voucher. And what is this debit voucher actually? For knowledge purpose, we should know all these things. Okay. Debit voucher is a voucher which records transaction that involves multiple debits and single credit. Debit voucher, when we speak of debit voucher, what it contains or what it records transaction involving multiple debits. Here debit accounts will be more than two, multiple debits. How many credit? Credit account will be only one. Then such voucher is called debit voucher. And now comes credit voucher. It's a voucher which records transaction that involves multiple credits and single debit, vice versa. Illi ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, the transaction involves multiple credits but a single debit or one debit, then such voucher is called credit voucher. Credit voucher is a voucher which records transaction that involves multiple credit and single debit. And I have taken one format there. I will show it later. And one more is transaction with multiple debits and multiple credits. Transactions with multiple debit and multiple credits. Here both are multiple, more than two. Multiple debits and multiple credits. Multiple debits and multiple credits. Both are multiple, more than two. Number of accounts to be debited is more than two. Number of accounts credited is more than two. Then it's called multiple debit. Two or more. Not even two is also taken as multiple, more than one. When there is multiple debit and multiple credit, such transactions are called complex transactions. and accounting voucher prepared for recording such transaction is known as complex voucher or journal voucher. Complex voucher or journal voucher. So what we have seen here, three types of vouchers: debit voucher, credit voucher and transaction voucher. Debit voucher includes two or more debits or multiple debits and single credit. Credit voucher includes two or more credits, multiple credits and single debit. Whereas in complex voucher, complex transactions are recorded. Means here transaction involves multiple debits and multiple credits. Okay. Now let's see the format of debit voucher. It's not a hard and fast format because the format changes according to the requirement and wishes of the businessman. ಒಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಮನ್ಗಿಂತ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಮನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ವೋಚರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ವೋಚರನ್ನು ಸಿದ್ಧ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಇನ್ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೋದು, ಆ ರೀತಿ. ದಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್. ಬಟ್ one common format I have taken, general format I have taken, and this format may change from business to business and from time to time. ಇದು ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಐಟಮ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ GST ಬಂದಿದೆ, GST ನಂಬರನ್ನು ಹಾಕುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಟ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು ಆದಾಗ ಆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕು. I have taken here the format as given in the book, just to give an idea, that's all. Okay, let me take first debit voucher. See, debit voucher, first we have to write the heading debit voucher. Okay, and then generally it contains at the top name of the firm, then voucher number, then date. You may copy it from the book also. Then credit account. See here, in case of debit voucher, there will be single credit account. Only one account will be credited. So credit account should be written at the top. Then amount should be written. Amount of the transaction should be written. Then you have to write the debit accounts. See, debit account, as they include two or three accounts, you may write it in a format again. So serial number, then code means product may be given code name, that code may be written there. It all depends on the situation. Okay, then account name, then amount, then narration or explanation about that particular transaction will be written, and then it should be signed by the person who has prepared by, and it should be authorized by another person, authorized by. This is the common format of debit voucher, but it may change from business to business, and as the time lapses, the format also changes, because there will be a lot of changes in the business world, and according to the changes, the businessman is required to change the format. Next, credit voucher, same, only one difference is there regarding credit voucher. Again, name of the firm, voucher number, date. You notice here, in place of debit voucher, we are preparing credit voucher here, and in the credit voucher we first write debit account. In the debit voucher we have written credit account first. Okay, next amount and credit accounts. Here two or more accounts will be there, multiple credits. Credit voucher, for single debit there will be multiple credits, so multiple credits will be there. Same format, serial number, code, name of the account, then amount rupees, then explanation or narration, then prepared by and authorized by. Okay, I hope it's very easy, and simply you can understand it. Just for knowledge sake I have included it here. Next, let's move on to see the very important aspect here in this topic, that is accounting equation. Already we have seen accounting equation. While discussing the dual aspect concept, we have seen that accounting equation. What it says? Accounting equation signifies that the assets of a business are always equal to the total of its liabilities and capital. The assets of the business are always equal to the total of its liabilities and capital. That is what we have discussed in dual aspect concept. Dual aspect concept says that every business transaction involves two aspects. One is the benefit receiving aspect and the other one is benefit giving aspect. And stated differently, every business transaction involves two aspects. One aspect is represented by the assets of the business and the other aspect is represented by the claim over those assets. ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಸಿನೆಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಒನ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ನ ಆಸ್ತಿಯ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಓವರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್. ಆ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಆ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಕ್ಕಿರ್ತದ ಅವರ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತದೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟೂ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫೈಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ the assets of a business are always equal to the total of its liabilities and capital. Put it in the form of a equation. Assets of the business are always equal to the liabilities of the business plus capital. The liabilities of the business plus capital, and these two aspects are always equal at any point of time. If you check it, these two aspects are equal and you should get it equal. Okay, that's about accounting equation. Accounting equation states that the assets of a business are always equal to the total of its liabilities and capital. Symbolically stated or stated in equation format, assets equals liabilities plus capital, and this is the fundamental equation on which entire accounting is based. And this equation is also called the balance sheet equation. This equation is also called the balance sheet equation, and balance sheet is a statement of assets, liabilities and capital that we are supposed to discuss in separate topic. That's one topic called financial statements. There we will deal in detail. Okay, balance sheet is for the time being, balance sheet is a statement of assets, liabilities and capital, or statement of assets and liability. That's also okay. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. This is the fundamental accounting equation, and from this equation we may derive other two equation. From this particular equation we may derive two other equation. One such equation is when assets equals liabilities plus capital, capital equals assets minus liabilities. This you can understand, when these two are equal to assets, capital equals assets minus liabilities. Assets minus liabilities. Or it may be stated differently, liabilities equals, that you can very easily tell, liabilities equals what? Equals assets minus capital. Liabilities equals assets minus capital. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Capital equals assets minus liabilities. This you should remember always, because this is the fundamental equation on which accounting is based. Now let me take a small example. Okay, a trader has assets worth rupees 2 lakhs and his liabilities are rupees 80,000. Find out his capital. Okay, this is better to note it down on a piece of paper. ಈ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸನ್ನು ಇನ್ನು ನೀವು ವಾಚ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪೆನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಪೇಪರನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯೋ ರೂಢಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ ನೋಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಡೌನ್. A trader has assets worth rupees 2 lakhs and his liabilities are rupees 80,000. Find out his capital. What has been given here? Assets of the business 2 lakhs and liabilities are 80,000, and you are asked to find out his capital. And we know that assets of the business are always equal to liabilities plus capital. Repeatedly telling, isn't it? Assets of the business are always equal to liabilities plus capital. From this equation we have derived one equation, that is, here we are supposed to find out the capital. So capital equals assets minus liabilities, isn't it? Capital equals assets minus liabilities. How much assets here? 2 lakhs. Note down that 2 lakhs minus how much liabilities? 80,000. 2 lakh minus 80,000 comes to how much? 1,20,000 rupees. 1,20,000 is the capital here. I hope you got it, isn't it? Very simple, and in fact it's very interesting. Assets minus liabilities, 2 lakhs minus 80,000 comes to rupees 1,20,000, that is capital. Let me take one more example. Again note it down. Mr. Mahesh, a trader, has assets worth rupees 3 lakhs. Yes, assets worth rupees 3 lakhs, and his capital is rupees 1 lakh. Find out his liabilities. Find out his liabilities. What has been given here? Assets 3 lakhs given. You can see that. Capital how much? 1 lakh. And you are asked to find out his liabilities. The basic equation, you know, assets of the business are always equal to the liabilities plus capital. Here assets value given, capital amount given, you are asked to find out the liabilities. So liabilities equals, you know the formula, liabilities equals assets minus capital. Clear? Liabilities equals assets minus capital. How much assets? 3 lakhs. Capital 1 lakh. 3 lakh minus 1 lakh. You note it down. 3 lakh minus 1 lakh. How much? It comes to rupees 2 lakh. 2 lakh is the liability. You know, liability is the outsider's claim on the assets, whereas capital is the owner's claim on the asset. That we have discussed while discussing dual aspect concept. You know, on the assets, one is the owner's claim, other one is the outsider's claim. Liability is the outsider's claim, whereas capital is the owner's claim on the assets, isn't it? So liability is how much here? 2 lakh. And let me take one more example here. Note it down again. Mr. Suresh's capital was on a particular date was rupees 3 lakhs, and his liabilities were rupees 2 lakhs. Find out his assets. Mr. Suresh's capital was rupees 3 lakhs and his liabilities were rupees 2 lakhs. Find out his assets. And you know, assets equals, write the fundamental equation, liabilities plus capital. What has been given here? Liabilities and capital are given. So liabilities how much? 2 lakhs. Note it down. 2 lakhs plus capital 3 lakhs. Total assets how much? 5 lakhs. This is how you can find out the missing figure. This is how you can find out the missing figure with the help of the accounting equation. I hope you got the point. Accounting equation states that the assets of the business are always equal to the liabilities plus capital, and stated symbolically or stated in the form of an equation, assets equals liabilities plus capital, or capital equals assets minus liabilities, or liabilities equals assets minus capital. I hope you got it. Okay. Next, let me take one more example where we are supposed to find the missing figures. Okay. Even from examination point, this is very important. Moreover, this is the fundamental equation, so you have to work out one or two such problems so that you will get insight into the equation, and wherever the application comes you can very easily understand. Okay, write the accounting equation and find the missing figures. Write the accounting equation and find the missing figures. Here a table is given: assets, capital, liabilities, A, B, C. 3 items were given. In case of A, assets 2 lakhs, capital not given, liabilities 90,000. In case of A, which is not given? Capital is not given. Capital is not given. And in case of B, assets are not given. Assets are not given. Capital 90,000 and liabilities 75,000. And in case of C, assets 3 lakhs, capital 1,20,000. You are asked to calculate liabilities. So 3 problems here, 3 missing figures. 3 missing figures you have to calculate. How? By writing the accounting equation. Shall we start now? Okay. Noted down this problem. Start then. First, what we have to find out? Capital. We know that assets of the business equals liabilities plus capital. Here assets were given, liabilities were given, but capital is not given. So what we have to do? We have to find out the capital. Capital equals, write the formula. Capital equals, how to find out the capital? Assets minus liabilities. Capital equals assets minus liabilities. Note down. Capital equals assets minus liabilities. How much assets? 2 lakhs, isn't it? Assets 2 lakhs. Liabilities how much? 90,000. Look at the problem. Liabilities 90,000, assets 2 lakhs. Find the difference. Difference is capital. How much is the capital? 1,10,000 is the capital. 2 lakh minus 90,000. 1,10,000 is the capital. I hope you got it. Okay. Next, in the case B, we are asked to calculate assets. Assets are missing here. Liabilities value is given, capital value is given. You have to find out the assets, and you know that fundamental equation. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. How much liabilities? 75,000. Capital 90,000. 75,000 plus 90,000. You total it. How much you will get? 1,65,000. I hope you are understanding it. 1,65,000. Next, go to C. That is liabilities. Assets value given, capital value given, but liabilities value missing. So liabilities equals, you know the formula, assets minus capital. Liabilities equals assets minus capital. Clear? Now again look at the problem. How much is the value of assets? It is 3 lakh. Capital how much? 1,20,000. Find the difference. The difference is the value of liabilities. That is 1,80,000. 1,80,000. Okay. Very interesting here. I hope you are enjoying it. Now let me give one more exercise on it. You do it yourself. Okay. Assets. Before that, you may note it in the format. We have calculated, assets equals capital plus liabilities. Capital was missing there. So how much you have calculated capital? 1,10,000. Then assets you have calculated 1,65,000, and liabilities 1,80,000. If you write like this, it will be more systematic. First you have to write the accounting equation and calculate the amount, then draw the given table. Table is given in the question, draw the same table, and wherever the question mark is there, you fill the amount and underline it. Clear? Then it would be more systematic. Now it's okay now, or you can do it later. Now let me give one more exercise, that is write the accounting equation and find the missing figures. This exercise is to be solved by you only. I will not take up now. You just note it down. Assets 5 lakh, capital missing, liabilities you have to liabilities given 80,000, and B, assets 6 lakh, capital 4 lakhs, you have to find out again liabilities here. And then in the case C, capital and liabilities were given 1,20,000, 1,80,000, you have to find out the assets. Okay. Next, let me move on to see one more type of exercise, in fact very important. Here you will be given one transaction and you have to present it in the form of accounting equation, and you should prove that the accounting equation remains unchanged or accounting equation is correct. Okay. Analyze the effect of the transaction on assets and liabilities and show that both the sides of accounting equation are equal. Accounting equation involves two sides. We have seen asset side, liabilities plus capital, asset side, and liabilities side, liabilities plus capital one side, assets on the other, and you should see that these two sides are always equal. These two sides are always equal. Okay. Next, what is the transaction here? Naresh commenced business with cash rupees 2 lakh and rupees 50,000 stock. Stock is missing there, you just note down. Naresh commenced business with cash rupees 2 lakhs and stock 50,000. Please note, stock 50,000. Only 50,000 is written there in the document. You just note it down. 50,000 stock. Naresh commenced business with cash 2 lakhs and stock 50,000. Total how much? 2,50,000. You have to present it in the form of accounting equation and you are asked to analyze. So first note it down. I hope you have noted down. Naresh commenced business with cash rupees 2 lakhs and rupees 50,000 what? 50,000 stock. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಬರೆದಿಲ್ಲ, ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದು. Stock you have to write that. Stock 50,000, cash 2 lakhs. He has started business with cash 2 lakhs and stock rupees 50,000. How to present it? You are asked to present it in the form of an equation. You are asked to present it in the form of an equation. And we know that assets of the business are always equal to liabilities plus capital. This is the basic accounting equation. Always you will remember it. It has become yours now, I suppose. ಇದೀಗ ನನ್ನದಾದದ್ದಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮದಾಗಿದೆ. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. So here look at the transaction. This is the basic equation. Naresh commenced business with cash rupees 2 lakh, stock rupees 50,000. Once again I repeat, you have to write the word stock there. It has been skipped there. So write stock 50,000, cash 2 lakhs, stock 50,000. Okay. Then cash, whether it is asset or liability, it is an asset, isn't it? assets means the economic resources used in the business. Cash is an asset that we have discussed in the first topic itself, isn't it? Cash is an asset. How much? 2 lakh. And stock are also called inventory nowadays. The term stock is replaced by inventory. Inventory 50,000. Stock or inventory 50,000. Both are assets. Both are assets, So on the asset side you write cash plus cash how much? 2 lakhs. Cash 2 lakhs. You see that? Cash 2 lakhs. And another asset is inventory or stock. Inventory or stock. How much it is? It is 50,000. Cash 2 lakhs. Inventory 50,000. Equal to what? Equal to 2,50,000. What is that 2,50,000? 2,50,000 is capital. What is capital? The money or money's worth invested by the proprietor into the business, or money brought in by the money or money's worth brought in by the owner to the business is called capital. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ವ್ಯವಹಾರವನ್ನ ಆರಂಭ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಉಳಿದ ಆಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೊಬರ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಹೆಸರು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಹೆಸರದು? ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ನೋ ಅದರ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ 2 lakhs, inventory 50,000, total capital how much? 2,50,000. This is the accounting equation. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Here no liability at all. So total on this particular date is 2,50,000 assets and 2,50,000 liabilities. Liabilities 0, capital 2,50,000. Liabilities also considered as capital is also considered as liability. It is insider's liability. Okay, assets equals liabilities plus capital. 2,50,000. You see that 2,50,000 on the asset side in the form of cash and inventory, and 2,50,000 is capital. Money or money's worth invested by the proprietor into the business is called capital, and that capital equals the assets of the business. What the accounting equation says? Assets of the business are always equal to the liabilities plus capital. Here assets 2,50,000, liabilities nil, capital 2,50,000, and these two aspects are always equal. These two aspects are always equal. I hope you got it. This is one way of analyzing the transaction. Now what we have seen? Naresh commenced business with cash rupees 2 lakh and stock rupees 50,000, and on that day his assets are equal to liabilities plus capital. All of you agree with me, isn't it? Okay alva? Assets ಮತ್ತೆ liabilities ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? ಸಮವಾಗಿದೆ. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. ಈ ಎರಡನ್ನ ಸೇರಿಸಿದಾಗ assets ಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. Assets of the two aspects, one aspect represented by assets of the business and other one is represented by claim over those assets. Here capital, owner has the claim over those 2,50,000 rupees. ಅವನು 2,50,000 ತಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹಕ್ಕಿದೆ? ಅವನಿಗೆ ಹಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ಯಾರಿಗೆ? ನರೇಶ್ನಿಗೆ ಹಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್. ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ಡಸ್? ವೆರಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ he deposited, he means who? Naresh deposited rupees 25,000 into bank. ಹಿಂದಿನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇದ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರೆದ ಭಾಗ ಇದು, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅದು. ಓಕೆನಾ? He deposited means Naresh deposited rupees 25,000 into bank. Now again we have to analyze the effect on the accounting equation. What is accounting equation? Assets of the business equals liabilities plus capital. ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆದಾಗ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅದು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು. he deposited rupees 25,000 into bank. ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆನಾ? ನೋಡೋಣ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ we have to write the existing position. First we have to write the equation and then write the existing position. See, let me start. Look there. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Note it down. Then write the existing position. Existing position, how it is? What are the assets available with Naresh now? One is the cash, isn't it? And the other one is cash rupees 2 lakh, and the other one is inventory or stock rupees 50,000, isn't it? This we have seen in the last transaction. Cash 2 lakhs, inventory 50,000 equals 2,50,000 capital, no liability. This is the existing situation, or this is the situation before the happening of that second transaction. He deposited rupees 25,000 into bank. ಅದನ್ನು ಅವನು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾನಲ್ವಾ 25,000. ಆ 25,000 ಅನ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಗೆ ಹಾಕೋ ಪೂರ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇತ್ತು? ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು? ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಅದನ್ನ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ 2 lakhs, ಇನ್ವೆಂಟರಿ 50,000. I hope you are getting it. Cash 2 lakh, inventory 50,000. This is existing situation. Capital 2,50,000. Now let me take that second point. He deposited rupees 25,000 into bank. He has 2 lakh rupees cash, you know. Yes, 2 lakh rupees cash. Of the 2 lakh rupees, what he does? He takes 25,000 rupees. He takes 25,000 rupees. So he has to deduct 25,000 here. You know, he takes 25,000 rupees, and what he does with that 25,000 rupees? He deposits that 25,000 rupees in bank. So again cash comes down here. Cash comes down. 2 lakh cash reduced by 25,000, but the same has been deposited into bank. Again it is asset, isn't it? Whatever the amount, that is 25,000 he has taken, you know, he has deposited that 25,000 rupees into his bank account, means his business bank account. So cash at bank is also an asset. So 25,000 deposited into bank. So one more asset comes. Look at the asset side. Assets equals liabilities plus capital. Earlier we have two assets, cash and inventory. Now one more asset comes, that is cash at bank. Look there, cash at bank. Amount 25,000. 25,000 from cash balance taken to bank balance or bank account. So 25,000 shifted from cash to bank. Look there, and this is the situation. No other change on the liability side. Now let's see the effect. What happened here? 25,000 is taken from the cash box. Assume he has brought in 2 lakh rupees and he has kept that in a particular box. And now he has taken that 25,000 rupees, and what he has done with that 25,000 rupees? He has deposited that 25,000 rupees into bank. Means he has kept that amount in another form, you know. That is also asset. So as he took 25,000 rupees from cash balance reduced to 1,75,000. See, this is not magic. Earlier he has cash of rupees 2 lakh, and now he has taken 25,000 rupees from cash box. So how much cash remains in the cash box? 1,75,000 remains, isn't it? That's what I have written there. 1,75,000. I hope you got how 1,75,000 has come. 2 lakh cash he has kept in the cash box of the business. Now he has taken 25,000 rupees from that cash box. Remaining amount how much? 1,75,000. And what he has done with that 25,000? He has deposited that cash in bank account. So another asset comes, that is bank. 25,000, that we have seen. 25,000 taken from cash and deposited into bank. 25,000 minus at one place, plus in another place. Both the aspects comes on the asset side only. Now let's see the effect. 2 lakh minus 25,000 comes to 1,75,000. What about inventory? Is there any change in inventory? No. Earlier it was, before this transaction, inventory was rupees 50,000. Now also it remains 50,000 because no change at all. 50,000. Next, new asset comes, that is bank. How much it is? 25,000. So earlier there were only two assets, now three assets: cash, inventory and bank. Earlier only cash and inventory was there before the happening of this second event. Only two assets were there. Now because of the effect of the second event, three assets appears here. Three assets appears here, that is cash, inventory and bank. 1,75,000 plus 50,000 plus 25,000 equals no change on the other side, liabilities plus capital. No change in liabilities, it remains 0 or nil. Capital remains 2,50,000, no change. This is the effect of second transaction. Now total it, and when you total it, the total assets how much? 1,75,000 plus 50,000 plus 25,000. How much you get? 2,50,000. Correct? ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಬರಿಬೇಕು, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬರಿಬಾರ್ದು. 1,75,000 plus 50,000 plus 25,000. How much it comes to? It comes to 2,50,000. Other side, no change, 2,50,000. This is how we have to analyze the effect of transactions on the accounting equation. I hope you have followed it. Okay. Let me take few examples in the next class. Okay. Thank you.